10 hottest comics of the week based off of Cover Price's data. That is right. We work with data. I mean, Cover Price works with data. We take that data. We take their top 10 list they release every week, and we talk about it. Chris picks his 3 most interesting picks from that list. But again, it's from data. We're not sponsored by Cover Price, but we do look at their information almost like a stock index. So very interesting the way they work. Pure data. They release their top 10 hottest comics on a Monday. Our show is on a Friday. Chris picks his 3 most interesting picks from that list and tells you why. But before we get to his 3 most interesting picks, we are going to look at the top 10 hottest comics of the week. That's right. At number 10, we have Dark Reign, Young Avengers #1, the first appearance of Sylvie Lushton, and the second Enchantress. If you guys are not watching Loki, then you have no idea what that's relating to. At number 9, we have Stray Dogs #1, the Silence of the Lambs variant. Gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Loving what they're doing with all of this. Number 8, we have The Nice House on the Lake #1. We had it fresh from the comic shop. Can't remember who just sent that in today, but loved it. And Venom #9, the first appearance of Dylan Brock. If you all don't know by now, Dylan is the new Venom. Sorry, spoiler. At number 6, we have Spawn's Universe #1, the Booth Sketch 150 variant. At number 5, Usagi Yojimbo #20, the first appearance of Yukichi Yamamoto. Lot of frenzy going on with that one. Number 4, we have Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars #3, the first appearance of the second Titania that will probably be making an appearance in the She-Hulk series. She has been cast. Not probably, definitely. At number 3, we have Stray Dogs #1, cover A. At number 2, we have Madame Xanadu #1. And at number 1, we have Stray Dogs #5, the Friday the 13th variant. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous looking book. An interesting top 10 hottest comics of the week. Am I right, Chris?
Yeah, it was, I mean, I picked 3 from it. I'll just say that. I did pick 3.
Before you get it, I'm a little distracted here too. Live TV, everybody, keep you on your toes. But we have Tom here, and he's back. I don't remember the town, the WandaVision town, but he's in it. Boom. How's it going, Tom?
In the heck?
Good. Can you hear me?
We hear you perfectly fine, and we see you black and white.
I got pulled back into my own timeline, and I'm back. Jeez. It's raining where I am, and I don't know. It must be wreaking havoc with my internet in my house. Sorry about that, guys.
Internet? They didn't have the internet in the 50s.
Just there's an antenna on top of the clock tower.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, we're glad you're back. I don't care if it's black and white or what have you. Very glad you're back. All right.
Thank you.
This is the. By the way, we're gonna have your finalist after the top 10 hottest comics of the week. Chris is gonna dive into his 3 most interesting picks. Chris, what is your first most interesting pick from this top 10 list of hottest?
I will say I was a little bored with this list just because there was a lot of repeats from last week, and I'm like, I don't want to keep talking about the same books, but I had to talk about this book. That I talked about last week as well. And my number 3 pick is Dark Reign, Young Avengers #1. I thought this book would be a little lower. It came in at number 10. I thought this would be a little lower simply because of what had happened in last week's Loki episode. I'm not going to give huge spoilers away, but this is the first appearance of Sylvie, the second Enchantress. And again, without giving too much away, I really hope you all are watching the Loki show. This last episode was amazing, in my humble opinion. That's why I really thought this book would be a little lower. I think what's going on is you never know with Loki's, and you never know with the MCU. But I really am seeing the correlation here, and why this book is on this list again for a second week in a row. Another 102% increase in sales this week after it had a booming week last week. And a CGC spiked up to a high, in a 9.8, that is, a high sale of $535. So again, we know how these books are getting hot when it comes to MCU spec. And we know what's going on with the 9.8 market right now. I just talked about it fresh from the comic shop with the Thor 18 that proved to be nothing, and people are paying over $500 for this book. Should I throw it again? But I'm digging this book. I think this book has ground, has legs to walk on. We'll see.
I agree too. Just the because the MCU is known for doing this kind of combining characters together, and they've done an amazing job with Sylvie and the Enchantress. So I agree. I don't know why this book isn't getting more attention either. So, but we shall see. We shall see. Again, we'll see how the series goes because they're dodging, ducking, and weaving, and it's all over the place. And I love it. I absolutely love it. But moving on, what is your second most interesting pick from this list?
All right, so my second pick is not just one book. It's an assortment of books that made the list today, but they're all stray dogs. Stray dog books. We had 3 on the list. We had Stray Dogs number 1, the standard cover. We had Stray Dogs number 1, the Silence of the Lambs variant. And then we had Stray Dogs number 5, the Friday the 13th variant, which is special to me because I was born on Friday the 13th, August 13th. Yes. Here's the thing, and this is why I really love this. And I'm telling you, I've never been a huge horror fan in general. The horror genre is absolutely on fire. I mean, you see, I didn't pick it in my top 3, but The Nice House on the Lake is still in the top 10 for what, a month, 4 weeks in a row now. The horror genre is booming. When you take an amazing story that's getting the reaction that Stray Dogs is getting, and you add these amazing horror film variants, wow! I mean, what a product that they're making for buyers, and they're just hot. Let's look at some of these numbers. Stray Dogs number 1, the standard cover, had 163% increase in sales, with the raw book selling for over $100. Woo! CGC 9.8 high sold for $410. All right, we got the Stray Dogs number 1 variant, the Silence of the Lamb variant, high 9.8, $605. Wow. Stray Dogs number 5, the Friday the 13th variant, 397% increase in sales with a $23 high raw. It's just flying off the shelves. So, that one just shot out the gate. Again, big shout out to, anybody right now, Image for doing what they're doing, but any of these publishers that are diving into the horror genre saying, comic books are here to stay, and we can tell good stories in any genre that we want to, and that's what this is showing me.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like Chris and I aren't the biggest horror fans, but I know, Tom, you definitely love you some horror. And like, again, this is just, it's, how can you not like, look at that Friday the 13th one, the one on the right, man.
This is a series that I've just even recently become aware of. I'm sorry to say that I'm going to be joining the bandwagon a little late on this one, but it definitely looks like something that I probably won't collect the individuals, but maybe something where when the collection comes together, I'd love to get it because
they're hitting the nostalgic, the heartstrings here big time. But from what I've heard, and I haven't been able to pick up any issues, but from what I've heard, the story's excellent too, and it's been optioned too. Again,
that's pretty cool.
Doesn't mean greenlit, but it means a studio has the right for first decline.
They might move ahead. They might just buy it so no one else makes it. Whatever that sometimes they do that. They just gobble it up so no one else will get it.
Yeah, absolutely. But again,
Paramount.
Bringing it up again, like look at the Silence of the Lambs, and cover A is to the left. That's right, correct, Chris?
Yep.
Of issue 1. So I don't know. It's got that whole Disney animation vibe to it. It's just so unique. Like all these combinations together.
Yeah, they describe this as a cross between 101 Lady and the Tramps meets Silence of the Lamb. That's how they described it. So very, very interesting stuff. Fresh takes. It proves that we could do artists, writers, the creative teams can do absolutely anything with comics, and as long as you're putting your heart and soul and good writing and good art into it, you're going to get people wanting to pick the stuff up and read it. It's just,
I agree. I think you gave kudos to Image for having the courage to publish a book like this, and everybody wants to publish the next great superhero, but there's just so many great stories that are being told in this medium, and they're not superheroes. They're not, there's no capes, there's no tights. There's just so many other, I pulled out from Vertical. What was, oh my gosh, the heck's wrong with me? Sweet Tooth. Good Lord. I couldn't remember the name Sweet Tooth for some reason. But, with the success of things like Sweet Tooth and it just shows that there's so much potential in these non-superhero related comic books. So I definitely have to check out this.
It sounds like it's right up your alley too. Yeah. Again, hitting those heartstrings right there that back in the 80s kind of horror goodness.
Nostalgia's good money now.
It is. All right, Chris, your third most interesting pick from this top 10 list. What do you got?
I had to do it, Jeff. I had to do it.
Don't be mad.
I had to give DC some love. It's been kind of slim and far between. We've seen some Nightwing with the new character up there. We saw the Fortnite Batman get hot up there with the free game codes. This one though, my number one, Madame Xanadu number one. All right, I picked this is my number one because this is a situation where Jeff and I, we talked. DC, in terms of the umbrella, or under Warner Brothers, in terms of their live action stuff, has been such a mess. And we've been talking about, Green Lantern shows coming on HBO. Maybe that can be, something that really kind of saves or is a fresh breath of fresh air in what's going on with Warner Brothers properties of DC. Now, here's another one with the announcement that came last week that Madame Xanadu will be getting her own HBO Max series from under Bad Robot, J.J. Abrams, which is going to lead into a live action Justice League Dark. I was really excited about this announcement. Really excited to see this book get hot. I do believe it came in at number 2 on the top 10 list. I'm picking it as my number 1. Before I go into more, let me just give you some numbers real quick. 198% increase in sales. CGC 9.8 high of $150. But here's the thing. This made me excited because I want to see DC under Warner Brothers and AT&T start getting, Jeff, you and I have talked about this a lot. You need to get the right people in place. And I know that, J.J. Abrams, not everybody loves J.J. Abrams. And, I know his involvement in the Star Wars, recent Star Wars sequel trilogy has been a hit or miss. I think Rian Johnson had a lot to do with that, the issues there. But J.J. Abrams is somebody that I overall trust. And I don't want J.J. Abrams in any way to be a Kevin Feige, like I think DC tried to make Zack Snyder out to be. But if we can get, because we know that J.J. Abrams and Bad Robot made that, signed that contract. I don't remember the deals off the top of my head, but they signed that contract with DC and Warner Brothers. If J.J. can start bringing in some of the, Justice League Dark characters and doing some properties on HBO Max, it leads to a live action cinematic release of a Justice League Dark. And you start getting these right people, just like Marvel's done with James Gunn and Coogler and the Russo brothers. Now we see, we get James Gunn on the Suicide Squad. We refresh that. We get JJ over to start building this Justice League Dark stuff. They really have an opportunity here to switch up the narrative and switch up the perception here of what they're doing. That's why I picked this book as my number 1. It's getting hot, and I want it to come to fruition to show us that DC is going to make this a good, enjoyable series. It's going to lead to even more enjoyable cinematic releases in the near future.
Yeah, I definitely want Tom's take on this. Again, being more, DC-centric than we are. We all want DC and their properties to succeed. No doubt about that. But Tom, you may have a different point of view of this book.
No, I agree with Chris completely. Next year we're going to see potentially 3 different Batman on the silver screen, and then you have a director like James Gunn come in, and he's like, I'm going to get you guys to care about Polka Dot Man, or Arm Fall Off Boy, which I think they're calling him maybe Detachable Kid or something like that. I don't think they're calling him Arm Fall Off Boy, but those are I mean, they have thousands of characters that they could cull through, and they, what James Gunn did with Guardians and how he made us care for Rocket and he made us care for Groot is the same kind of mentality I think that he's going to apply to Suicide Squad. We're going to care about characters that the general public had no idea even existed. And that's really what, and along the lines of Madame Xanadu, that's what DC needs to do. They need to cull through their little, cavalcade of characters and pull some really interesting ones and do something great with them. There's zero risk involved, really. I mean, I think at this point, it's shown that it's financially viable. That the Guardians did well. I mean, and continues to do well. For Disney. I think that the Suicide Squad has potential to do great work and great business for DC, Warner Brothers, HBO Max. Why not? Why not cull from these characters? Why not pull Madame Xanadu? Why not go, and get some great characters on the silver screen, or if not on the small screen, give them their own series. They have the streaming service for it. There's the potential for so many characters and getting in so many new subscribers or putting butts in the movie theater.
Yeah, J.J. Abrams is an absolute, that's a win for I guess Warner Brothers. Again, and it looks like he is going to be pulling DC properties. That's a win. That's a win. The guy is very capable, beyond capable, extremely talented in anything he does. You're going to have opinions here and there, but honestly, the quality of work that he brings to the table and his resume, that's a big win. And I hope you guys are both right about this. By the way, talking about Madame Xanadu #1, P. Keel, he had a question for everybody. Who has 2 of those in a 9.6, bitches? So I'm not sure if he's rubbing it in our face or he's asking us angrily, but I'm pretty sure P. Keel has 2 of those in a 9.6, and that's good on you. Anyways, that is an interesting top 10 list. I agree it's uninspired in a way, Chris. I agree with you. It was like a lot of the, most of the time we're like, whoa, that's pretty cool, right? There's a few books that are like, okay, this is cool. It's very like, nah. Tom, your thoughts?
On the top 10?
Yeah.
Oh, I all great choices. I definitely think, Chris has a great way of finding books that have great potential. Pulling from obscurity and saying, listen, you might not know this character now, but pretty soon this one's going to be on a TV show or a movie, and you're going to wish that you had this book. And he's got a great eye for that kind of stuff. I enjoy your top 10 more than I enjoy other lists. Well, like you said, one book could sit on that list for a year, whereas yours, you're constantly trying to rotate it and make people aware of just some great choices out there that they could get on while they can before it's like $600, $700 a book. I've always enjoyed your top 10. They're good. You have a great eye for books.
That's why we try and give a little. We're not telling you all to spend your money or how to spend your money, but we do want to give you a little info and a little some stats behind the scenes. Anyways, by the way, this is a good question for you, Tom. Being a DC fan, what DC characters should they make into a show? What would you want? What would you look forward to? That obviously, let's stay out of the realm of the Batmans and what we see already on screen. We know there's a Green Lantern series coming, and I'm personally excited about that. What do we got? What would Tom like to see?
Rocket and Icon. I would love to see Icon and Rocket have their own show. Not necessarily a movie, because I think his story is so just, well done. It combines you have that Martian Manhunter Superman feel, but it also goes in a completely different way that ties in directly to, American history. And he's such a great character. And I love the idea of Rocket herself just being kind of like you have that Star and Stripe relationship where you have this young hotshot hero teaming with a clearly seasoned veteran. I think Rocket and Icon would be a great choice for maybe even if it was a limited TV series, I would love it on HBO Max.
The quality is going to be there. Again, I think the Green Lantern series is going to set the bar, and I think characters like that will follow. This is a consensus. We had two people saying this, Louis Logix and Remy Woolman want some Lobo. We saw that in the Krypton series, which I thought was great, which was on Sci-Fi Channel. I'm not sure if you saw that.
Oh, yeah.
But
such a great one.
It was good, and it got canceled. Right. They're just a mess. But anyways, that is our top 10 hottest comics of the week. We'll have a news list next week.